Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben and today I am joined by James. Say hello, James.
Hello.
And in case you've been living under a rock as far as 40k goes, today was the Warhammer preview for The Dead and the Divine, which I think up to like 50,000 people tuned in to watch the live stream of it.
Is
Which
he?
is, yeah, I think so. I think I remember looking down at the counter and seeing like 50,000 people, which is a lot watching a live
Yeah,
stream.
there's a point where there wasn't 50,000 people playing it in the world.
I know, it's crazy. Well, with the event going on outside, I think GW is in a good place to. Well, people are just in a good place to get a bit of hobbying done, aren't they? I mean, I think GW will come out the back end of this a lot better than most. But that's besides the point. The Dead and the Divine. Now, we did a pre-video to this, sort of like speculating 40k wise what could possibly be announced or shown off. And as far as my bingo card of Yannari and possibly Grey Knights, I got nothing. Absolutely bupkis. And
What did I say? Space
I
Marine
mean,
Shin.
a Space
We
Marine
didn't
Shin.
get that.
No, you didn't get any new Space Marines either. So have some of
Well,
that.
hmm, that
But
did surprise me.
well, there are Space Marines, but not new Space Marines. One thing that did surprise me is we've got more nuns with guns. I thought we'd had all the nuns with guns. I thought that they'd come out, they had the big hurrah, and that was it with their range. But apparently, well, we have got
Yes.
more
What?
in the form of the Paragon Warsuit.
Hmm.
I'll throw up an image there. We'll just talk about it. And apparently, according to the gents at the other end of the stream, there is more on the way for sisters.
Well, that's good.
There is yet more on the way. It's like I think the really. I can appreciate that sisters have not had a lot of love in a long time because their army has been kind of like languishing in this like forgotten dead zone. But the way they're pushing them, it's going to be like one of the like main contender factions of the Imperium. Isn't it? I mean, obviously it's not going to be Space Marine level, but you know,
Yeah, like I said to you in the week, it's quite a commonly played faction these days. So a lot of people are picking it up.
have you got any? Because I actually I don't follow meta or the tournament scene or anything like that. I mean, do you have any idea of the figures of like how many people are entering with sisters forces now?
Actual figures, no, it's just like a ranking list.
Oh right, and just, like sisters ranking quite high now, are they?
Yeah, they're ranking up there with Space Bros, so there's a lot of people playing them.
Space Gals. Oh. Well, yeah, the more power to them, I suppose. After God knows how many years languishing in the dirt, I suppose you've got to enjoy the time in the sun. And the Paragon Warsuit. Now, I'm interested to hear what you think about this, Jay. Because
Hmm.
when I first saw it, my brain immediately went to, how can I turn this into a Gene Steel Cult mining suit?
Really?
Yeah, it went there straight away because all I gotta do is get rid of that. Because Gene Steel Cult have got like female sprues. All I gotta do is get rid of that head, stick a female Gene Steel Cult head in there, file off some of the iconography, stick a cult icon on it, bish bash bosh. But the more I'm looking at it,
Hmm.
the harder in my mind it is to pull off because it
No, I think it's a bit ornate looking for
mm,
mining equipment.
it's too slender, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks a bit too feminine for something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was just thinking to myself, it's like that you could quite easily get rid of like the sword and that or keep the flame. Get rid of the sword and you sort of like get an acolyte sort of like rock drill or the big snipper thing and just like somehow kind of green stuff graft it onto the sword arm and they'd be like having like working mining gear, but the frame of the thing's too slender. I'm on the fence about this entire Paragon Warsuit because I don't know what it is. It looks top heavy. I mean, the sculpt itself is really nice, just like most things GW do. I mean, I'm not straight away offended by it, but the
Mm,
legs look weedy, don't they?
yeah, there is just something about it. I can't put my finger on, but I don't like it.
Mm. I mean, we've got to bear in mind as far as like how big this thing is. It's probably gonna be like twice the size of like a sister. I was saying to you before we came on the stream, like think slightly bigger than a Tyranid warrior. So the scale's not huge, but I don't know. I think it could have done with having some kind of, rather than having like humanish sort of armored legs. Like I said, me and you aren't sisters players, so they're probably. I think. Well, I don't think I know a lot of them. Certainly in the stream that I was watching in the chat, a lot of them are going to love this. But for me, it could have done with some kind of more, thicker legs.
I don't know. I'm just like looking at it from different angles and turning it upside down, and proportionally, it looks pretty good, as you'd expect. I can't put my finger on what I don't like about it. Face isn't helping. That face would have to go.
Yeah, but there is helmeted versions. So that's fine. A lot of people were saying in the chat, like, where are the feet? Where are the actual pilot's feet going to go? They're going to be in the thighs, aren't they?
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that. With the older Space Marine models, like when you stop to think about the proportions of the dudes inside this warsuit, you're like,
God, don't ever do that.
Oh no, ooh, it's like nightmare fuel. Ooh, you're not right. But yeah, this thing's going to be like your sort of heavy infantry, sort of, your heavy infantry powerhouses are going to be like having heavy flamers, heavy bolters, big ass swords. So I can imagine these things are going to be like probably strength times 2. That kind of thing, and it looks like they've got bolters built into the shoulder pads. The shoulders I kind of like, because they're kind of like sort of echoing knight shoulders, aren't they? The big pawns.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's very nice. Well, it'll be interesting to see what other stuff sisters get. At one point, when I looked onto Twitch or the Warhammer community Twitter, and I saw the pane glass sort of like sisters promo thing, I was thinking to myself, God, for the divine section of this, are they going to remake, like, do a new living saint like Saint Celestine? I was like thinking, Celestine came out when Gilman came out, so they can't redo her quite yet. I don't think she's that old yet.
No idea.
No, I mean, but yeah, new war suits for the sisters, I suppose. So.
It's nice to see that they're still releasing stuff for these older ranges. They haven't just done a big splurge and said, right, that's your lot for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
They're still feeding stuff out.
Yeah. And there is, like I said, there is still more to come. But speaking of drip feeding stuff out, that moves us on to the other notable sort of 40k themed thing that was announced in this preview. The Kill Team box set for Pariah Nexus. Now, we knew this thing existed because we saw the trailer in a previous preview of a wounded Space Marine going down the corridor, and then I'm assuming he's being cut to ribbons by a flayed one, because we knew flayed ones are going to get introduced into the game via the Kill Team medium. Now, I thought it would be like the other Kill Team. You'd get a box with like a few flayed ones, a HQ subscription, a few bits of terrain, and that's it. And the same on the Space Marine side, but no. What they're deciding to do instead is have one big box set, like with tiles and everything, and inside it you're going to get, let's have a look, you're going to get 5 Space Marine Heavy Intercessors, which we knew about, Space Marine Captain, which we knew about, all Primarified, of course, a Necron Chronomancer, which we already know about, and I'm pretty sure you want.
I do.
And, of course, the brand spanking new Flayed ones, which, again, I know you and a lot of other Necron players are absolutely... You can't wait to get your hands on. And on top of that, you're going to get bits of, like, little Necron bits of terrain, objective cards, and, like I said, double-sided game boards and the rulebook. So, my leading question is, why? Because I saw in the comment section in the Twitter feed, and this is I may be pessimistic. This might just be me thinking the worst of people, and to be fair, that's never really steered me wrong. But I think what's going to happen is, because of obviously what's going on right now, the supply for these box sets is going to be limited, and you are going to have Necron players rightly wanting that sweet street Chronomancer and those amazing looking flayed ones, and the Space Marine players wanting that Space Marine Captain and the Space Marine Intercessors. They're going to be snatching these up, and I bet my bottom dollar scalpers are going to be all over this, breaking the box down, selling the things individually for a markup, or selling the box set for a markup. I reckon this thing will go out of stock, and then we'll see probably not to the scale of Indomitus, because that was a big deal, but I think we're going to see some some scalping shenanigans on this box set.
Yeah, that was kind of my first thought as well, and I think I might have been a bit more upset if I'd have wanted to get my hands on this stuff straight away, and I haven't got a massive backlog of stuff I still need to get through. If I was going to buy it on launch day, then yeah, I think you're right. That's probably what's going to happen.
It's a shame though, isn't it? I mean, if GW is doing a box like this, then I think made to order's got to be the way forward. Like, say, right, we're doing made to order. What, a month or two before they release it, get all the orders in, and then make the box set to fill that order because of obviously, supply chain and staffing levels and things like that. I think
the reason they're not doing that.
I don't know, man. Like I say, I think I'm thinking the worst of just the worst of humanity in general. But I reckon a load of scumbags are gonna just bolt buy this and just sell it back to the community at an obviously outrageous markup. But I could be.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, we don't know when these individual kits are coming out, do they? It could be 6 months' time.
Mate, I'm willing to bet it's going to be in the middle of the year. I'm willing to bet that we're not going to see flayed ones now. Probably till May time. Maybe April. Because everything's been pushed back. So, I mean, yeah. I reckon whenever this box set drops, flayed ones will be about 3 or 4 months behind it. Easy. Just because of, obviously, supply situations and whatnot. But, yep. I mean, like you said before the stream, the Chronomancer, for people who probably aren't as eagle-eyed as Jamie is, the Chronomancer has actually got 2 staff options there.
Yeah, literally just spotted that. I thought it just got the one option.
Yeah. I like the sort of like half orb, sort of swirling one. That's quite nice.
Yeah, can't really see the other one too close up, but I think I prefer that one.
It is nice. What do you reckon to those bits of Necron terrain then?
Nah.
No, not doing it for you. Not floating your boat.
No. It might just be how they painted it, but it just looks a bit simple and blocky. I don't like it.
Isn't like the Necron, isn't their whole shtick simple and blocky? You literally have giant floating blocks.
Exactly, and I'm finding this too simple and blocky, so what does that say about it?
Wow, it must be just way too simple and blocky.
I think it just looks a bit shit.
I don't know, I mean, I'm wondering if like you're going to get little rules for these things use of 40k as like terrain features. I don't see how, because essentially what you've got is barrels, the Necron equivalent of, and doors. So
yeah, I thought we had small Crusade games and whatnot, but I kind of don't want them.
I mean, as a Necron player, would you pick this box up?
No.
You're probably looking at, 90 to 100 quid, you reckon?
Really? I hope not.
I reckon so. Because obviously you've got the objective cards, you've got the mat, you've got the rule book in there, you've got the terrain. I reckon 90 to 100 quid. I mean...
Right. As a Necron player, I wouldn't, and I'll tell you why. Because it's got new Marines in it that you can't buy anywhere else. So chances are if you go on eBay, there's going to be a lot more Necrons than there are Marines.
Right, okay. So basically your idea is just to wait for all the Space Marine players to bulk buy these things and then sell the Necron stuff off to try and recuperate some costs and just wait for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at demand for Marines and demand for Necrons, you know which ones are going to be higher, don't you?
Well, I don't know, mate. I mean, you managed to get your logo on a Christmas t-shirt last year, so who knows? I thought you were one of the big boy armies now.
Yeah, this month maybe.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how it all comes out on the wash, I suppose, but methinks scalping times are ahead for this thing. God, I hope not.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, expect the worst and you can only ever be pleasantly surprised, isn't it, I suppose. Titanicus, big old robot boy.
Yep, Warmaster.
Warmaster. I was saying just before we did the recording, do you think GW and Forge World have got the stones, the fucking back wheels to try and make a 40k scale version of this and try and sell it?
I'd love to see them try, and I'd love to see somebody attempt to build it.
I know, like, you got the argument of, like, what's the biggest sort of, like, Forge-World model? It's like, the Manta Ray was, I think, it's got the biggest sort of, like, footprint, because
Surfboard, isn't
it? It's basically a fucking surfboard. And then obviously you've got the Warlord Titan, and this thing is, like, bigger than the Warlord Titan. Christ almighty, that'd be a lot of plastic. I mean, how much is a Warlord Titan? Is it, like, $2,000?
I've no idea.
I think
it's got a on there.
It's the price of a second-hand car. So you could get the second-hand car to go to work to earn the money to feed your family, or you could buy the big plastic robot and then tear your fucking hair out building it because it's going to need fucking scaffolding.
You won't be using that in no games either.
For my 2,000 points...
More than 2,000 points. I think of all, it's about 4, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'm going to go out. I'll come back when you finish crying. Hey,
I better get a lot of shots though. I'm just looking at a picture of it, and I keep trying to count the guns on it, and I'm losing track.
It's got shin guns.
It's got a shin. Was that a las cannon?
Yeah,
twin las cannon on its shin.
It's got armpit
and
guns.
On the other shin. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know if they've made up this like class of Titan or just like to fit between that go between. But the next one up, I think, is the Emperor class Titan, the one with the fucking monastery on its back.
Yes, that's the one that would be the same size as you if it came out in plastic.
Hey, all joking aside, I would love to go to a games day and see these things in that kind of size and having big games. But
how long's a game going to last where you're playing things like this?
Well, how could you do it? Because first off, how the fuck would you move this thing around the board without literally crushing pieces of terrain and other models?
So, got like a winch and pulley system.
unless it had like its own alleys up and down the table where it can move backwards and forwards, sort of like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I mean, Christ, can you imagine the close combat weapons that go on this thing? Just be fucking huge fists.
I don't think anything would survive the shooting phase, mate.
Yeah, but yeah.
I think Codex just on its own.
Oh man, if this behemoth was 40k-ified, can you imagine the field day freehand painters would have doing those big blank spaces? It would be.
Yeah, it makes me sick.
It would be beautiful. It would be beautiful. I double dare GW to do it. I fucking double dare some crazy bastard at Forge World to actually make this for 40k. Because it'll have all working interiors. It'll have a fucking crew inside it that you're never ever going to see, but some crazy bastard will paint.
More than likely.
Magnetise the whole lot. Well, I say magnetise, you probably need fucking locking joints for it.
Yeah, screw it together.
Screw it together. Right, well, that's all the 40k stuff. You know what? I'll tip my hat to the Age of Sigmar stuff, because I think, on the whole, the Age of Sigmar stuff kind of stole this show. To no one's surprise, I don't think. Because...
yeah, I can't saw that coming.
Yeah, I mean, Loomleth Realm Lords, what's his name? Servreth Lord of the Seventh Wind, floating goat kangaroo boy with bow and arrow.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. Saw that, I thought to myself, yep, just get rid of the kangaroo boy and you've got yourself a nice floating sort of like super unit base. Like a Nightbringer or something, just plonk him in there.
You say that would be like kind of a good base for a deceiver if you take the guy off the top, doesn't it?
Oh yes. You see? Even if there's not 40k, then you can 40k something up. No problems.
Potential there.
But yeah, he's a very nice model. Very, very nice model. They were saying like the attention to detail. Like if you look at his quiver, he's got an arrow missing because obviously he's got one primed up now on the bow.
Is it?
Yeah, he's like I say. I can't make up my mind. Is he a goat? Is he a kangaroo? I'm not sure.
It's goatee, gazelle. I don't know. I don't think it's a goat.
Well, if you're moving on from floating goat kangaroo boy, we've got new spells for who are they? The Daughters of Cain. We've got varying themes of blood. We've got blood knives, blood snake, and a great big bloody fist holding a heart. Mm.
Yeah, cool.
I do like the swords. That was the one thing I was looking at, thinking, how could you adapt that to 40k? And I'm pretty sure that it depends how it comes together, because I was thinking, obviously, Khorne, blood. I was thinking maybe if you could sort of like wangle your way to have those swords and work them into a model, so they're like an upswing. So this thing.
That's what happens when Khorne the Betrayer sneezes.
Yeah, blood everywhere.
Blood and swords.
He sneezes blood and snorts? He sneezes blood and swords. But here we go to my favourite of the sort of Age of Sigmar. My favourite of the Age of Sigmar sort of theme. Oh, the vampires. God.
Why are they always looking at the hands, man?
Sorry?
What's up with that?
What do you mean?
The vampires are always staring at the hands.
Oh, it's because... Oh, God, I had something witty to say there, but I completely forgot about it. Oh, never mind. Couldn't have been that good. Dichasm, the Crimson Court. If I was a Dark Eldar player, I would have that guy in red, I think he's Prince... I don't know, Prince Sandwich or something. That would be the armour from my Archon. That is...
Yeah, I guess, couldn't it?
That is absolutely lovely. I mean... way back when it was a choice between 40k and Warhammer, as it was, the vampires were always, before, this was time before Twilight, before vampire, the idea of vampires were tween to hell and back. But yeah, they were great models. For this one, I was kind of hoping that they'd do like, sort of like reinforcements for Grand Alliance Death with Vlad von Karstein, bring back the old von Karsteins. But yeah, I mean, there's some great looking models there, ripe for conversions. This is my favourite Age of Sigmar bit of this entire preview, particularly Prince Red McSandwich. He's ace. I love that.
Can't take him seriously. He just looks like he's staring at his hands, sucking his teeth.
What, like, I told that guy, it's like, you call this a pedicure?
I'm doing better.
Yeah. God, I've broken a nail. So, finishing off, this one's the one that stirred your juices, wasn't it? I mean, this one I completely passed off. I was like, oh, and there's this. But another...
I've got no idea what it is, but I love the models.
Warhammer Quest, The Cursed City. Think Blackstone Fortress, but set in Age of Sigmar times. So obviously you could have like you could have a group of heroes trying to get through an environment and fighting and doing all that kind of shenanigans. So, I mean, is it just because you plays the Witch Hunter and Vermintide too? Is that the reason why you like this?
And that's not the one model that jumped out the most. It was the other one, the dude with the spade. I quite like.
It's like go on, sorry.
Dark, horrible gothic things have always ticked a box for me for some reason. I don't know why.
I did. One of the funny comments in the preview was Pyramid Head confirmed for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
It's saying that though. It wouldn't look out of place in Silent Hill, would it?
No, no Dark Souls.
No Dark Souls, and obviously that's your jam.
Just noticed he's. Oh no, he hasn't got a hand missing. He's holding something. I thought he was missing a hand, but he's got it attached to his belt. So he's just carrying it around with him.
Yeah. That's he's holding that claw. I know what you mean. I thought his hand was the claw. But no, he's holding like the hook sort of thing. He's got like
the dude underneath. I didn't even spot that.
Oh yeah, the dude with the zombie guy. I mean, I'm assuming that's a zombie emerging from like a grave.
Grave?
Yeah, worms and all. But this Warhammer Quest is going to be 4 heroes set in Age of Sigmar time. So it's think Vermintide, but the board game version. And except you're cutting up Skaven and Chaos, you're cutting up eldritch, dead, horrible things, I suppose.
I'd play that.
Yeah. Well, all you gotta do is buy it and paint them, Jamie. And you could play that. We could all play that. I mean, one of the reasons I don't get into things like Blackstone Fortress, because none of the playable sort of races or characters really tick my box. I find the forces of like humanity and things like that very bland and sort of like middle of the road. The Man of Iron, that was remotely interesting, because it was like they were exploring a narrative that was just one of those things. But there's an actual like working AI that was from the Dark Age of technology, or before Dark Age of technology, and I was like, oh, that is quite interesting. I'd like to play as that guy. But apart from that's it. I wasn't really that interested. But like I say, Jamie, if you buy the box set and paint up all the models, I'd give it a whirl.
I will keep looking at it. It's tickled my interest.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it. That was the review top to tail. Well, the reveals top to tail. I'm a bit disappointed that they didn't have like a final teaser at the end, like, ooh, and here's what's coming up. It kind of just like ended. So if I were to say like critique the preview, I'd say just have like an after credits sort of like thing. Preview what's going to
like a little teaser on the end.
Yeah, a little teaser on the end. Something we've got this now, but this is in the distance. Woo, kind of thing. I thought that'd be nice. Cool. But yeah, you got anything else to add, Jay? I say anything else to add. I realise it's just been me rambling at you for the majority of this fucking video.
Yes. No, not at this point. I'm happy to help you ramble, though.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you enabling my mindless actual waffle. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Think it was a good preview? I think it was a good preview. What do you think of the new Numb with a Gun sort of delivery system, El Roboto style? Do you like? Are you looking forward to the new Kill Team box set, or are you just all over the Age of Sigmar and the vampires and the floaty goat boys in this particular preview? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Until then, me, Jamie, and potentially Chris will catch you all next time. See you later.
Bye.